Hey y'all, it's Rick here with Uncommon Communion, and yeah, I'm recording again. I had wanted to write tonight, I did plan on that, but I sat down in front of the TV and watched the next episode of Severance. And I know these episodes were on months ago. I'm a little bit Johnny come lately to this, but it is a really cool show. And here I am, later than usual. I did want to jump on to read the next psalm to share that with you and really just to offer some commentary on where we are right now, this particular moment, and just continue to urge action. Before that, though, let's settle into the reality that is around us and within us always, that we are always and everywhere in the holy presence of the more and each other. Yeah, it is the 15th day of, or 14th day, not even the 15th day of the month yet, it's the 14th day when you get this. And a lot's happened, and a lot still could happen. The news today is coming out of Iran and the massacre that is happening to protesters there who are protesting the government, the repressive, theocratic, fascist, authoritarian government. And our dictator is preparing to punish them for that. And there is some talk that as soon as tomorrow or this week, he would evade Iran, and he's saber rattling, of course, against Cuba and Mexico and Greenland and so on and so forth. And then, of course, what we have seen in Minneapolis, God bless the protesters who continue to be loud and to be present and to show up to protest what is not only a terrible, heinous, violent act, but the cover up, the denial of justice that is so clearly happening already in that situation. Then, of course, there's, speaking of denial of justice, Jerome Powell being attacking him, putting out, subpoenas. All of this is going on, y'all, for one key reason. Well, lots of reasons, of course, because Trump is a absolutely just, I mean, words can't even put it. Did you see him today? This was Tuesday. Swore at someone. Someone yelled at him when he was out touring a Ford plant, and they yelled "pedophile protector." And you can see very clearly that Trump uses the F word, tells him to F off, and then flicks him off. This is the president, right? And it is absolutely insane. It is absolutely insane. And we are always needing to keep our eye on the ball here, y'all. We need to protest these things, absolutely. But the one thing that all of this is distracting from is the Epstein Files. And I've been talking about this for months now. And where we are is a blatant breaking of the law because T. Rump signed into law the Epstein Transparency Act, and so far, only 1% of the files have been released. And these are not just files, these are videos and logs and, I mean, all kinds of stuff, right? And only 1%. At first, remember back before Christmas when these came out and they were all redacted and, they were throwing Clinton's name out there. The DOJ said, oh, there's too much to do. There's too many things to oversee, right? Now they're not even talking about that. They're just hoping that we lose focus, that we don't pay attention, and they are breaking the law. And here's why. I'm going to put a link to somebody that I read here on Substack, and I hope you do too, Dean Blundell. He's a Canadian, does some really good podcasts. There's some others that he podcasts with, but he's an investigative reporter and it's got sources. And he is quoting sources inside the DOJ who are saying that the reason that they're not even dragging their feet anymore, they've just stopped. They've just stopped producing the documents. And the reason is because they are realizing you can't take T-Rump's name out of it because he's the main character. And the quote that I saw is, and this is a quote, and I'll put this, you can see this in the post, this is from a DOJ insider. It is not possible to produce any more of the documents without ending Trump's presidency. Let that sink in, y'all. The people who have seen the files, who know what is in there, know that this is devastating, not just to Trump, but to billionaires, to presidents of other countries, prime ministers, to famous people, and on and on and on. The truth must come out. And we need to keep pushing for that. We need to keep calling senators. We need to keep calling representatives. We need to do all of those things. Because, y'all, at the end of the day, the victims, the survivors, it's about them and getting justice for them. You know, they have been talking, some of them, there was one in particular, I'm forgetting her name right now, but for many years, she was claiming that there was a report that she filed with the FBI, and that it was denied that she even did that. People were questioning her. Well, guess what? In one of the releases, one of the last releases, which is more than a few weeks ago now, her name was in there. That report was in there. So she was vindicated and proved that, yes, indeed, she was telling the truth. Because this cover up, y'all, is so massive. It is the key that unlocks everything that is going on. All right, y'all, it is time to share the next psalm. It is a short one. We're in kind of a section of relatively short ones here, and it's the 14th psalm. And again, I am struck as I read these psalms in light of what we are facing, what we are experiencing, the continued willful blindness and cruelty of the MAGAites, you know, and the lies, and just really the fascism and the Nazi. I mean, there's so much. There's so much. But the psalmist cries out, and we cry out. Some empty-headed fools have said from their hearts, there is no one above us all. These cruel-hearted, dishonorable ones have done terrible things. Not one of them walks in a good way. Grandmother looks down from the spirit world above to see whether there's any human beings wise enough to seek her. She sees that all have lost their way and wandered far from the good path. Not even one of them does what is right. Will these evil fools ever learn? They never send up prayers to grandmother. They devour my people as if they were nothing but a piece of fry bread to be eaten. These evil ones should be trembling with fear, for the one above us all stands with the good-hearted of every generation. You bad-hearted fools may laugh at and mock the hopes and dreams of the poor, but grandmother is the one watching over them. Oh, how I long for the one who lives on strong mountain, Zion, to come and set his people free. Heel grabber, Jacob, will dance for joy, and the tribes of wrestles with Creator, Israel, will have glad hearts. There is justice, y'all. It is that God, the more, stands on the side of the good-hearted of every generation. So we need to keep up hope. We need to keep up our resolve. We need to hold fast in the midst of this. And if action is taken against, in insane ways, against Greenland or Cuba or Iran or any of those places, we need to hit the streets. We need to stop acting like business as usual. That is still so pervasive. You know, people are just ignorant and blind to this. So many. If you're listening to this and on Substack, you're probably not, but you know people who are. So we need to keep encouraging them, keep showing them, keep talking about this, because y'all, an election is on the horizon. We need candidates who are going to stand up and hold accountability and bring justice and bring the rule of law back. I think that's what is so terrifying about this, y'all, is that This is a lawless regime, and it is getting worse, and it is accelerating each and every day because they know it's a matter of time. They know it's a matter of time before T-Rump is no longer on this earth, and they know it is a matter of time until the Epstein Files come out and the house of cards collapses. All right, y'all, I'll wrap up as we normally wrap up. Do check the notes here. I will put the Psalm 14 from poor Bishop Hooper, put in today's Father Ed reflection, and also this link to the Dean Blundell article. I highly recommend you take a look at it because it's what we need to keep focusing on, the Epstein, Trump, Maxwell files. All right, y'all, God grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Thy will, not ours, be done. Hope to be back tomorrow writing. Blessing and good. Be bold. Be well. Y'all. Hold fast.